Osprey Games has a title I've found, and I want to tell you about it. Undaunted, Stalingrad. This is for 2 players, ages 14 and up, and should take you about 45 to 60 minutes to play. Stalingrad, 1942. Before you await a grueling conflict in the cornerstone battleground. As the bullets and bombs tear the city asunder, only through wits and valor can you seize the cornerstone of the entire Eastern Front and change the course of history. A heavy burden rests on your shoulders. Every casualty suffered in battle will weaken your forces for the entirety of the campaign. Every bomb blast and mortar shell leaves the very ground of which you are fighting and further ruined. Every inch lost to the enemy brings you closer to the jaws of defeat. Over the course of up to 15 branching scenarios, you will decide the fate of Stalingrad and perhaps the war itself. Even though the consequence of your actions will persist, the game itself can be fully reset and replayed, allowing you to explore every potential outcome. Undaunted Stalingrad is a monumental platoon-level standalone campaign game with branching narratives that expand the series' scope and challenge beyond anything that's come before. Featuring more than 300 unique illustrations by Roland McDonald and 150 evocative mission briefings written by acclaimed author Robbie McNiven, immerse yourself in this campaign at the heart of the war. Publisher ramped it up nice with that description, I think. I right up front, I have never been the biggest fan of games that revolve around war, particularly World War II. There are a few that have caught my attention over the years, and the Undaunted series is part of that very small grouping of war-based games that I do enjoy. So this was a little bit of a no-brainer ending up on my gaming radar. So this is obviously building upon this very strong legacy of previous titles. I don't mean like legacy games. I just mean it is a legacy in the amount of games of this title that have been coming out, and they've all been well received by the board gaming community. They've all been big hits on the table, every single one of them. And this is no different. It is simply just the newest in the tried and true system of this series. So right there, that's got to be the first and foremost reason I think that it is on mine and anyone else's list who enjoys, at least to some degree, war games. Now, this historic World War II setting game does bring to the table tons of period-appropriate art and components to the game, I think. And that helps. It helps it become more immersive. Your sense of disbelief is suspended the more you can immerse yourself, dive into the very theme of a game. And this does everything to help you do that. And I'm always appreciative when a publisher goes the extra step to make sure that you really do feel like you are in the middle of stuff. Now, unlike the previous games, this is adding a very strong story-driven element to the game, as well as these legacy-style game changes. Now, what the publisher, and I guess what I mean by these legacy-style game changers, is like when you lose troops, they're permanently lost for the rest of the entirety of that campaign. Yes, there are reinforcements that can be brought in from time to time, but generally, your resources from the start of the game or your resources at the end of the game. So you have to manage everything. And by resources, I mainly mean troops and equipment. Now, besides this sense of realism with your resources of soldiers and gear, there's also this in-lane tension and struggle that's built right into the entire story-driven part of the campaign, where you're literally delving into the minds and the lives of Sergeant Max Schroeder and his Russian counterpart Yuri Mikhailov, and getting into them, their minds, their what's going on, how they're managing things, how they're dealing with, basically between the two of them, these commanders, a chess game. A bloody, deadly, explosive chess game between these two. And everything I've been reading about this new box set for the Undaunted series really brings a sense of life, of realism to the game through the use of the legacy style and the lives of these two commanding soldiers. Now, you're not completely screwed. During the course of the game, there are going to be chances for you to upgrade your troops, their equipment, their gear. But as far as your resources go, you still have to be really careful of what you're doing, who you're sending in, who's going to. Well, let's face it, it's war. Who's going to potentially die on you? Be careful out there. It's a war zone. I think that this game is built on strong enough mechanics and a strong enough theme setting with a touch of legacy, salted in here and there a little bit. I definitely think that this is the kind of game that's going to get more attention than just the hardcore war gamers. People like myself that are just casually interested in a war game here or there from time to time. This is the game that's going to catch your attention. And there's so much with these new little aspects in the game. I think from what I've read, I would say that Undaunted Stalingrad is probably a great gateway game into the entire Undaunted series, even though it's not the first. So please, by Osprey Games, I'm begging you, go get more information, inform yourself on their title, Undaunted Stalingrad.